What if I told you that Russia is quietly funding a massive tunnel through the Caucasus? This tunnel is not meant for oil extraction, but to create a backdoor lifeline to its closest ally. Deep beneath Armenia's southern mountains, engineers are preparing to carve a $500 million tunnel that could reshape the balance of power in the region. Every winter, the main road linking Russia to Armenia becomes impassable, cutting off trade, troops, and influence. But once this tunnel is built, that vulnerability disappears. On paper, it seems like just infrastructure. However, behind the scenes, it's a geopolitical chess move, financed by a Russian-backed fund, raising eyebrows from Tehran to Brussels. The real question isn't how this tunnel will be built, but why now, and who really benefits. The Caucasus region sits at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, a mountainous land bridge between the Black and Caspian Seas. For millennia, these peaks have acted as barriers and gateways, shaping the movement of people, goods, and armies. At the heart of this region lies Georgia, bordered by Russia to the north, Azerbaijan to the east, Armenia to the south, and Turkey to the southwest. The border between Russia and Georgia traces the spine of the Greater Caucasus Mountains, where peaks soar above 18,000 feet. For centuries, the only major year-round passage through these mountains has been the Georgian Military Highway, a 130-mile route. This highway connects the Russian city of Vladikavkaz to Tbilisi, Georgia's capital. From this route, traffic flows through Tbilisi and then southward, forming a critical corridor toward Armenia. For the landlocked nation, this connection is a lifeline. Armenia has long relied on it for trade with Russia, its primary ally. However, there's a serious vulnerability. The current corridor includes the treacherous Darial Gorge and the Cross Pass. Perched at an elevation of over 7,800 feet, heavy snow, landslides, and avalanches regularly shut down the route. Some closures can last for weeks, effectively cutting Armenia off from its northern partner. In 2014, a series of landslides and floods destroyed sections of the highway, leaving Armenia largely isolated from Russia for months. This geographic fragility carries deep consequences. Armenia is already blockaded by Azerbaijan and Turkey due to the ongoing Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. While it does share a southern border with Iran, that route faces logistical limitations complicated by U.S. sanctions. This leaves the Georgia-Russia corridor as Armenia's most dependable link to the outside world, especially to Moscow. For Russia, ensuring access to Armenia is equally critical. Since the collapse of the Soviet Union, Armenia has remained Moscow's most loyal ally. Russia maintains a military base in Gyumri and views Armenia as a strategic anchor in a region where Western influence continues to grow. Armenia is also a member of the Russian-led Collective Security Treaty Organization, CSTO, further deepening military and political ties. This is where a transformative infrastructure project comes into play. Known as the Kivashedi-Kobe Tunnel, this $558 million initiative is a centerpiece. It aims to modernize Georgia's internal transport network and improve year-round connectivity across the Caucasus. Stretching 9 kilometers, 5.6 miles, the tunnel is designed to bypass the most hazardous section of the Georgian Military Highway. Particularly, it avoids the treacherous crosspass, allowing for safer travel. The tunnel will run from near the village of Tiskara on the southern side to Kobe in the north. Cutting straight through the Greater Caucasus Mountains, vehicles will pass through a safer, lower-altitude corridor. This design significantly reduces travel time and risk for all who use it. The engineering challenges are formidable. Tunnel boring machines must navigate a mix of hard granite and unstable sedimentary rock. The region is seismically active, with geologically young mountains that continue to rise. This forces engineers to design with earthquake resilience in mind. The tunnel must also withstand extreme temperature shifts and include robust ventilation for heavy traffic. But the project doesn't stop with the main tunnel. The full corridor upgrade includes 23 kilometers of new highway. It features 5 additional tunnels of varying lengths, 5 major bridges, and avalanche detection systems. Construction began in 2020 and is financed by a consortium including the Asian Development Bank and the European Bank for Reconstruction. The main contractor is the China Railway Tunnel Group, which is working under contract with the Georgian government. The project currently employs 657 workers, of which 414 are Georgian nationals. When completed, currently projected for late 2025, the Kefeshe-Kobe tunnel will accommodate up to 10,000 vehicles daily. This is more than triple the capacity of the current route, ensuring all-season access through the mountains. It will minimize the economic disruptions that have plagued this route for decades. The official narrative emphasizes economic gains, including hundreds of new jobs in a region with nearly 23% unemployment. Plus, there's a boost to tourism in the stunning Kazbegi region, home to the iconic Gadadi Trinity Church. Georgian Finance Ministry projections estimate that transit fees could generate up to $87 million annually. Yet the financial picture is more complex. The Asian Development Bank and European Bank for Reconstruction provide primary financing. Meanwhile, China Railway Tunnel Group serves as the main contractor under contract with the Georgian government. Expectations of direct Russian financial involvement have not materialized as some anticipated. For Armenia, the stakes are high. Visiting border towns, local merchants showed warehouses filled with spoiled produce from previous winter closures. Last January, the pass was closed for 18 days. "We lost everything," says fruit exporter Hik Sargsyan. Analysis of trade data indicates that Armenian-Russian trade volumes dropped by an estimated 30 to 35% during winter months. Meanwhile, villages along the existing highway face uncertain futures. In Gudari, Georgia's premier ski resort, hotel owner David Gelashvili revealed abandoned expansion plans. When the tunnel opens, transit traffic will disappear from the old route. Our roadside businesses risk collapse. Environmental concerns also shadow the project. Activist Tamara Sukishvili took us to springs now cloudy with construction runoff. Independent water testing we commissioned found elevated levels of heavy metals in 3 downstream villages. This is a serious issue that was absent from official environmental impact reports. "This tunnel is the perfect trap," a former Georgian defense minister told us on condition of anonymity. Georgia believes it's taking Russian money to build its own infrastructure. Russia knows it's buying a strategic corridor that can never be closed. Our investigation uncovered minutes from closed-door security meetings where Russian officials described the tunnel as strategic insurance against Georgia's NATO aspirations. These confidential documents reveal how the tunnel functions as a sovereignty bypass. It effectively prevents any future Georgian government from blocking Russian military access to Armenia. The timing is no accident. After Armenia's crushing defeat in the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh War, satellite imagery obtained by our team showed increased Russian military shipments. The 102nd Military Base in Gyumri, located just 10 kilometers from the Turkish border, hosts around 3,000 Russian troops. This base also houses 18 tactical missile systems, enhancing Russian military presence in the region. According to a confidential Russian military assessment we verified, winter road closures created a critical vulnerability window. This vulnerability can last up to 4 months annually. In Tbilisi, Georgia, a mid-level Georgian Transport Ministry official shared original project paperwork. "The technical specs were handed to us pre-approved," he said, pointing to funding allocations obscured in technical jargon. The tunnel's dimensions and load-bearing capacity were designed to military standards, not civilian ones. The tunnel's 5.6-meter height clearance exceeds what commercial vehicles require, but matches Russian military transport specifications exactly. Road reinforcement complies with NATO Military Load Classification 120, capable of supporting main battle tanks and missile transport vehicles. Former U.S. diplomat Thomas Graham confirmed our findings. This tunnel guarantees a direct Russian military supply route to Armenia. This route cannot be disrupted without destroying Georgia's own infrastructure. Graham added off the record that Western intelligence agencies have monitored the project closely, but opted not to intervene. In Yerevan, public opinion broadly supports the tunnel, but government officials express unease about deepening dependence. We are already 94% energy dependent on Russia, economist Levon Hakobian explained at Yerevan State University. This tunnel cements that physical link. Financial records show Armenia's contribution comes primarily from loans provided by Russian state banks. This effectively indebts Armenia to Russia for a project that increases Moscow's leverage. Meanwhile, Azerbaijan has maintained an uneasy silence. Although officials in Baku declined interview requests, a security analyst shared private assessments. These assessments suggest that Azerbaijan sees the tunnel as a calculated risk that could reduce Russian pressure on Azerbaijan. The tunnel project exists within a larger landscape of infrastructure competition across Eurasia. China's Belt and Road Initiative has funneled billions into new railways, highways, and ports. In response, the European Union launched its Global Gateway Strategy. Meanwhile, the Middle Corridor Initiative aims to connect Central Asia to Europe through the South Caucasus, bypassing Russia entirely. Within this geopolitical chessboard, the Cross-Caucasus Transport Corridor is just one critical piece. Yet its completion could trigger significant regional shifts. A reliable year-round route stands to dramatically expand Armenian-Russian trade, while Georgian tourism could flourish. New industries may emerge along the corridor, supporting increased traffic and commerce. The project also has the potential to reshape regional power dynamics. A stronger Russia-Armenia connection might embolden Yerevan in its ongoing tensions with Azerbaijan. Georgia could leverage its role as a transit hub to negotiate concessions from both Moscow and Western partners. Russia, in turn, gains a more dependable route to project influence deeper into the South Caucasus and potentially beyond. Environmental concerns are likely to grow more urgent as construction advances. The Caucasus Mountains are a global biodiversity hotspot, home to endangered species like the East Caucasian tur and Caucasian leopard. Climate change is already increasing the frequency of landslides and floods, the very risks the tunnel seeks to bypass. Construction challenges remain formidable. The timeline has slipped from an initial 2024 completion target to late 2025. Costs have ballooned from early estimates to roughly €400 million, around $500 million, with further overruns possible. Still, massive boring machines continue their painstaking advance through the mountain meter by difficult meter. For engineers, politicians, and locals alike, this is far more than an infrastructure project. It may well mark the beginning of a new chapter in the turbulent and ever-evolving story of the Caucasus.